The inaugural Stellenbosch Triennale is set to kick off from the 11th of February and will run until the 30th of April. It's taking place at a location renowned for its halls of academia and historical vineyards under the theme, "Tomorrow There Will Be More of Us." The fair comes as an effort to make this town a primary destination of multidisciplinary art in Africa. The event is the brainchild of the Stellenbosch Outdoor Sculpture Trust, and one of its trustees and project director, Andi Norton, joins us now from our Seapoint studios in Cape Town. A very good morning to you, Andi. Thank you so much for making the time to chat to us here on Morning Live. Let's talk more about the Stellenbosch Triennale and the vision behind it.
Thanks so much, Pearl, and good morning. It's lovely to be here with you. The vision for the Stellenbosch Triennale developed quite a few years ago. As a trust, we've been placing works of art on the streets of Stellenbosch every year since 2012. And we've been doing this because the mandate of the trust is to make art as accessible to as many people as possible, and to democratize art, to take it out of the often very elite gallery spaces and quite intimidating museum spaces. So we've been placing works of art on the streets of Stellenbosch, and after doing it for a few years and being very proud of what we've achieved, we thought it was time to take art in Stellenbosch to another level and to a global level. And if you're going to do something on a global scale within the art world, you go into the realm of biennales and triennales. So biennale just means every 2 years, triennale means every 3 years. But what we believed that Stellenbosch was ready. We'd seen how visitors and locals and school children and everyone in the town had taken to having art out in public areas. So we decided we're going to take a very big leap of faith, and we're going to jump onto a global stage. We're going to bring the very best art from the African continent, bring it to Stellenbosch, and make it as accessible as we possibly can to as many people as possible. And that's what we're doing.
Andi, what is the significance behind the theme, "Tomorrow There Will Be More of Us"? Give us a breakdown.
Yeah, so when we chose our chief curator, we wanted someone who had actually lived in Stellenbosch. It would have been easy to parachute someone in from somewhere else. But Kanyisile Mbongwa studied at Stellenbosch University for 4 years. She understands the town a little bit. It's a complex town. It's a beautiful town, but it has many, many layers. So when we started working with Kanyisile, who is just an extraordinary independent curator, who is at a beautiful crossroads in her career, where I think she's about to take off and become quite extraordinary globally, she came up with this theme, "Tomorrow There Will Be More of Us." And what we loved about it was its multifacetedness, that it can be interpreted in so many different ways. And the artists who are exhibiting have brought their work and interpreted that theme. And for us, the themes run from environmental, in a sharing of resources. Tomorrow there will be so many more of us on this planet, to, of course, the migration and the refugee crisis that's happening across the world, and particularly so many coming from the African continent. And also this idea of us and them. Tomorrow there will be more of us. That it's not actually about us and them if we're going to have a positive and productive future, that it's about all of us as one. So there's so many different ways to interpret the theme, and that's what we loved about it. And all the artists have interpreted it in so many different ways.
I can absolutely understand the beauty of it all. Now, unpack for us the program, Andi. What will be happening from the 11th of Feb until the end of April?
Okay, so Pearl, we are going to have a number of exhibitions taking place in various locations around the town of Stellenbosch, and we also have a number of pop-up events that will be happening. So the main exhibitions that will be there for the entire 2.5 months is the Curators Exhibition, which is the anchor exhibition, and this is taking place in a huge warehouse space called the Wood Mill, just as you're coming into Stellenbosch. Then we have the On the Cusp Exhibition, which is the very young artists from across the continent who are just literally on the cusp of doing something amazing. And they're in an old, beautiful Cape Dutch house on historic Dorp Street. And the conversation of this very contemporary art in this old historical building, there's a beautiful conversation taking place there. And then we have another exhibition in the Stellenbosch University Museum, which is called From the Vault. And we've taken the art collections from the vaults of Fort Hare University and Stellenbosch University, and those two collections are in dialogue. And then we have an architectural pavilion, which will be built on the Braak, which is a very big piece of open land in the middle of Stellenbosch. And it's a beautiful place in the town where so many people from so many different walks of life actually meet with each other and intersect on a daily basis. And this pavilion will be what the architect calls participatory design, where they will build the structure or the skeleton and the public actually fills in the pavilion with recycled materials. We then have a music program with DJs from Africa. We have a film program. We have a talks program. So within the 2.5 months that lie ahead of us, I think people are going to honestly see the very finest contemporary art from some of the most exciting artists from across the continent, right here in Stellenbosch. We're very excited.
This is very, very exciting. I agree with you. Now, I understand that there are some world-famous artists that will also be participating at the Triennale. Would you like to take us through just some of them?
Well, absolutely. So the great thing about biennales and triennales is that they're not art fairs. There's a very big difference between an art fair and these projects. So a biennale or a triennale in this case is not commercial. The art is not for sale. So whereas an art fair is all about selling art, some of our artists are not even represented by galleries, but some of them are really big rock stars. What makes it special for us is that it's a space, a very free space for artists to just play, to just let their imaginations and their talent have some fun and just play without having to worry about whether someone will buy it or it will fit into a house or will the gallery approve. So you see some of the greatest works from these artists because they're not constrained by any of those commercial restrictions. So some of the important artists that we have are Ibrahim Mohamed. He's a Ghanaian artist who is literally taking the world by storm, and he's very well known for covering buildings all over the world in his jute sacks. But for us, he's doing something very, very different, very novel, something that he hasn't done before. So I really recommend that people come out to see Ibrahim's work. We also have Nashtio Mosquito. He is a performance and sound artist who he actually is about to have something on at the Tate in London. And what makes us so pleased is that Nashtio is he's known for not actually attending many of these events that he's invited to around the world, and he's actually with us in Stellenbosch, and he's been so hands-on and so involved, and it's been a pleasure to get to know him. We also have some famous South African artists. So we have Bronwyn Katz, who was just named the F&B Artist of the Year. We have Donna Kukama, who is such an exciting artist. And we have some real rock stars, but what's lovely is that offset with those, we also have some unbelievably exciting artists who are just young in their practice and just starting out. And to see this relationship between the established artist and the younger artists is quite special to see.
Andi Norton, that is where we'll have to leave it for today. Thank you so much. You've got an exciting 2-month period or so where lots will be happening. I hope you enjoy and savor the moment.